back to Choreo Chats. Today we are joined by Braeden Barnes, who was a choreographer for us in 2015. We're so excited to catch up with him because it's been 5 years. We were just chatting about how it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but welcome back, Braeden.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
Could you tell us a little bit about your background and things that shaped you into the artist and choreographer you are today?
Yeah, so I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and I got into dance around the age of 7. I was a gymnast before that. And then from there, I went straight to ballet. So I was a big ballet dancer. And at the age of 17, I joined the second company of Joffrey Ballet. And that's where I pretty much started my professional career. Around the age of 23, I decided that I wanted to venture into more contemporary dance and choreography. So I started to choreograph. I left the ballet companies. I moved back to Chicago. And I've been here ever since, making projects, producing shows, and dancing professionally.
I love it. And since 2015, I know that I've been following you on social media and seeing all the great things that you've been doing in Chicago, but you started a company and started to work with other artists. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
Yes. So what I really love about choreography and producing shows is the collaboration part of that. And so I wanted to create a company that is sole based on collaboration. So it's not just my own choreography the whole time, but I involve different artists and different art mediums to join me into my shows. So I formed a company, it's called Symbiosis, and me and one of my best friends formed it. And we did a whole installation show that was about an hour, a little bit over an hour. And during the show, we involved different types of dance. We had a tap dancer, ballet dancers, contemporary dancers, and then we formed like different art mediums to join us. So one example would be at the end of the show that we did, our first ever show, we brought out this canvas and we taped it down, and I had my dancers, and they call it the mud piece, but it's actually clay. They put all this like wet clay on themselves and they do this like ballet dance, and it's really beautiful for the audience to watch how their bodies move with this other element as clay mixed into the choreography. So that's what I really like doing when I'm not dancing professionally, is working on my company and finding more ways to collaborate and explore.
Love it. So I know that this period of shutdown has been hard on everyone. What's it like as a director of a company to navigate through the shutdowns and keeping the company moving forward?
It's it's definitely it's been hard because especially this summer where I really do my shows, I've been really focusing on festivals, traveling, doing some more tours. And the hardest part was everything got either postponed or canceled. So it was literally waiting for the next email to pop up saying it's canceled and it's postponed until further notice. But mostly, I always believe that there's always something to learn. And especially in this time when stuff slows down and I'm stuck in my house, what can I do to think about the next show? What we can do to be more creative, to reach our audiences in a different way. So yes, it's been really hard and struggling as a company to want to get in the studio, but knowing that it's temporary and find ways to still learn and investigate during this time has been really important.
I love it. I love it. So back in 2015, you actually were part of our first shutdown
Hmm.
where our performances were canceled due to snow or the
Hmm.
lack of snow. I,
Yeah.
I call it the fake snowpocalypse. But
Yep.
and it was funny because you were from Chicago and we were like, we're closing for snow, and it was flurrying.
Hmm.
And I didn't even know
Yeah.
how to tell you that it was going to happen. Um,
Hmm.
but knowing that you have been a part of a shutdown or a cancellation with us before, what advice could you give to our 2020 choreographers who are facing this as they had pieces ready to go on stage and then we had to postpone right in the middle of it?
Yeah, my heart goes out to them because I know exactly what they're feeling. I remember as the cancellation, my sister who danced for me in that piece in Atlanta, we were like walking into the mall, just trying to like keep our minds, and we just looked at each other, and in that look, we knew where we both were emotionally. So my heart definitely goes out to all those dancers and choreographers that put so much into their work and into their art. What really helped me about the process was it's not going to be the first time stuff gets canceled. As an artist, we have to adapt to the environment, to everything around the world. It makes us stronger. So we came back, like we did the show, I think a few months later, and that was the silver lining because when we did the show a few months later, I got to use my original cast members that I created the piece with, and it was such a blessing to do it again. Or also to like when we did it again, I had time to process and make the piece better and kind of formulate it into a new form. So what I would say is stay strong, use this as a learning experience. So the next time something happens, you have ready to, okay, game plan, what are we going to do? Or like maybe just like don't take it so hard because again, it's not the last and we're all in this together.
I love it. Yeah, it's I think I went through the same things that you went through during the process with just
Hmm.
having to, yeah, just let it soak in and then understand it's going to happen
Yep.
again. And here we
Hmm.
are.
Yeah.
So, Braeden, tell us about the piece you presented through us. What was your inspiration? What did you want audiences to take away from it? For those of our audience members that didn't see the piece and that are going to get to see a little excerpt today, what can they expect?
Um, so I was at a really turning point in my career and in my life. It was again when I was 23 and I decided that I didn't want to do ballet anymore and I wanted to venture into something different. And a lot of people told me one thing, they said, don't do it. And a lot of people said, good, do it. You know, even like my own family were on both sides. So I really, at the end of the day, made this decision by myself. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow this passion. And I did. And it started with the summer. Me and a couple of my friends, we went into a studio. And for my home school where I grew up, we presented this piece called Changes that everyone you're about to see, and it was more about where I was emotionally at that time. And it's amazing that, you know, like it's funny, I was for my company this year gonna reset that piece. We had one rehearsal. Yeah, and this is kind of like again like a full circle moment of like that piece always sticks with me and helps me through difficult times. So what I would like the audience to take away from it is empowerment is from yourself. You can do this. You can make a decision if you're passionate about it. Go with it. I choreographed it in three different parts, three different sections. The first part was coming to grips with the idea of change, and a lot of times it comes like a spark, and then that spark gets louder and louder and louder. And then the second movement section is when you're about to make that decision. You're about to cross the line. You're about to move forward, and you have no idea. And the third movement is the intense movement, and that's more about just running with the idea. You're like, no one can stop you. You're passionate about it. It's the thing you love. It's the thing you should follow, and you're going with it. And why I love the piece so much is, I mean, I put up stuff in my apartment like we all do of like, oh, that show, you know, that photo with me and my dancers and the experiences that I've had over the course of these 5 years. And the shows I got to do and the amazing audience members I got to meet. It's like this was meant to happen if I've done this piece, went with my gut and followed my passion. So yeah, it's a very special piece for me.
Well, it's to us too. We thank you for bringing it to us and bringing your talents to Atlanta. And
Yeah.
we're excited that audiences will get to see a little snippet of it today too. So I'm going to turn it over to your piece Changes on stage. Thank you so much, Braeden, for joining us today for our choreo chat. It was so great to catch up with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.